Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back again with another video. Vibes from the Six is back, and today, we got a special one for you guys. Liverpool versus Arsenal, as you guys already know, ended in a draw. Is that it for Arsenal's title hopes, and is that it for Liverpool's top four hopes? They both might be in trouble now at that point. Then you got Manchester City winning another game. Erling Haaland's not human. If you didn't captain it in fantasy, you're gonna suffer just like me. And then Chelsea. Let's pray for Chelsea, guys. Pray for Chelsea. Mojo might actually make it today. No Qasim, no Fatur. Today we're going to have Mojo back, hopefully, in the stream. And Manchester City, Hamza is going to be representing. Alan, you guys with the controversial victory. Son scores his 100th goal for Tottenham, but the rest of the stuff was all controversy. Referees might get sacked because Tottenham won a game. It's crazy. The world's gone nuts. We got Marcus Rashford, unfortunate injury, and Erik Ten Hag is rattled, mentioning the Premier League need to do something about the fixtures. I've heard that story from every other referee, every other coach in football history in the Premier League. So I'm not surprised that he would say that. But why everyone is in the uproar, we're gonna have to talk about it. And finally, welcome the guests. We got no Rack today, no Ram today, no Mons. We got my guy Ram in the building. We had to bring Ram in because I thought we were gonna absolutely beat Liverpool, the living daylights out of Liverpool, and I could banter Ram, but I didn't get that opportunity since we drew. How you doing, Ram?
Not bad, not bad. A little bit disappointed, you know. We should have. I think in the grand scheme of things, I think we did deserve the win, but we'll get to that later. But Arsenal versus Liverpool is always going to be entertainment. Like I say this all the time. People say City United, Liverpool United, whatever. Arsenal, Liverpool, if you want pure entertainment, this is the game of the Premier League season for me. Liverpool, Arsenal guarantees goals, excitement, and all of the above. So what can I say?
Neeks, this is the topic you wanted to begin with. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm good, man. I'm all right. You know, we get our win. Other teams, some other teams struggling out there. I got a quick question though. Help me out with something. Vibe from the Six. Now you're from Toronto, so maybe that's where the Six come from. I'm not, so I'm not sure what I'm doing there. But maybe because I'm in the top six. What is Ram and Liverpool and Mo Chelsea doing in a vibe? Is it not vibe from the 8 or vibe for the 11th? Like, what are we doing there? Is it top 6 or is it the rest? I'm a bit.
I mean, if you really want to do that, then why is Tottenham here? Why is Tottenham here? Why is Tottenham here?
Can I speak?
Listen.
Can I land?
The vibes.
Can I land? Can I land?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
I was brought here on false pretenses. I thought this was a big boy conversation, and we're talking about 8th and 11th. Sorry, continue, go.
Ram, don't bring me to your mid-off, mate. Don't bring me down to your mid-off, mate.
What mid-off? There is no mid-off between us. You're the low-off. You're the low-off. You haven't won shit for nothing.
Go talk to Chelsea. Go talk to Chelsea. I'm higher up. I'm on Neeks' level at the moment. I'm back on with Neeks. You're just lower. Come on.
Right. Coming from a guy.
Alan shooting shots. Listen, it's the Six, not the big Six, not top 6, not Premier League's 6, not nothing. It's just the Six. We could have 5 of us here that are from outside of the Premier League and still vibe out. So it's just vibe.
I would never be here from outside the Premier League. Just letting you know that. But continue.
Hey,
the one
that might be true.
That Champions League. You're not in the competition. Yeah.
That might be true.
Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna have a Champions League show next year. We want to be inviting Liverpool fans or Chelsea fans. So that's gonna be interesting.
There's the one that hasn't won the trophy. Yeah. Karma.
Listen, you don't have to. You have to be in it to win it.
My dad has more of a right to be on Champions League shows than your club, than you, because his team actually won the damn thing, yeah? So let's not do this Champions League talk, please.
Who's his team?
Forest, Nottingham Forest.
Okay. His dad is a Forest fan. Big up the Forest fans in the building. People saying, Neeks, don't forget Vibes from the 7.
Sorry, this is not Vibes from the 7. Don't know what you're doing there, talking about Jack. Sorry, get out of there, mate.
Nah, you know that was a good one. I didn't even remember one time when we did Vibes on the 7. I changed the 6 to a 7 because there's 7 panelists. Oh man, that was funny.
Oh, that's funny.
You know what? Forget about all the cheesy jokes and everything else. There's been a lot of crazy stuff that happened this weekend. Alan, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good. We'll get into a lot of Tottenham talk, and I've seen some tinfoil hat stuff. I really am. Literally, it's weird. I mean, I admitted on Terry Show that things went our way yesterday. I don't deny that, but some of the things I've seen on socials. Oh, Hassan, go away. Some of the things that I've seen, literally, people come out with in regards to Spurs, are basically buying the league. We're fifth, you idiots. What on earth are you talking about? We're buying a league with things going our way. We're fifth in the league. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we'll get into everything else. But yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
I'm gonna have to come back because Hamza's calling me. But yeah, you guys you guys get into the Liverpool game. What's going on with Hamza, man?
Ram, what are you saying?
I don't
Liverpool? I think you must be a bit disappointed, isn't it, with that?
Yeah, of course. Like, I think if you go at the start of, before the game, like probably the previews, I've been saying the only thing I'm hoping for is a 0-0, only for my agenda. I want my Allison to get a clean sheet. That's the only thing I'm fighting for. But given the circumstances of the game, I think overall we did deserve to win it. Arsenal, majority of the first half, were dominant. They played scintillating football, broke us down bit by bit like a knife through butter. But we still had our moments where we could have pounced upon their lapses in judgment in the midfield. But yeah, it's and given the circumstances of the second half, penalty miss, Nunez missed a 1-on-1. We should have, at the end of the day, got the 3 points. But if it weren't for certain circumstances, like our players not bottling chances or Ramsdale deciding to be like prime Casillas and save every single bloody shot, we might have got something from this game. But if you asked me at the start of the game that we were going to get a draw, I would have taken it. I just didn't want to get humbled, and that's how far this team has fallen.
That's the thing, because when the game started, and I thought, you know what, Arsenal can win this game because obviously the form that they're on, the form that you lot are on, I get it, your home form, etc. But I thought, and I was talking to my shopkeeper just before the match started because he's an Arsenal fan, and I was like, when we played Liverpool, we had a lot of chances, about 3 or 4 decent chances in the first half before Gakpo scored, and I said to him, if Arsenal get those kind of chances, you'll take them, and you can go 2-0 up in the first half. I said this, you can go 2-0 up in the first half, and you can win the game. And you went 2-0 up, and I thought, this is going exactly as I thought. Liverpool are really dead. They're really crap. Arsenal win this game. The momentum, etc. But the game just turned. Like the game, it kind of turned out of nowhere because it wasn't like Liverpool were going. Sorry.
So I was going to say on your point, there was a moment where it turned, and I can
pinpoint
the exact moment.
We'll probably speak about it in a bit, but it turned out of nothing. When I say that, in terms of, it wasn't like Liverpool were building up pressure and they were creating chances and the crowd were rising. Nothing was happening, and then something happened, which I guess we'll talk about later. And Liverpool kind of built on that momentum. You saw Trent rising up the crowd and all that, and they got that equalizer. So the pull the goal back. And I think I said in the group chat at the time, I was like, how have Arsenal allowed this? Because Arsenal should have gone into halftime 2-0 up. Liverpool had no business coming back into that game before halftime. I was like, how have Arsenal allowed Liverpool basically back into this game? But when you look at the second half, oh my, it was all Liverpool. I know Arsenal had a few breaks, especially right at the end, and then Saka had a bit of a kind of a little trickery later in the game. Gabriel had a header from a corner, but in all intents and purposes, it was all Liverpool in that second half. And that's why I say Arsenal bottled it, because how did you put that second half performance together when you were so good in the first half? You had really nothing to offer. It was kind of backs to the wall without really battening down the hatchet, to this point that Ramsdale was probably your man of the match. In a game that you drew 2-2, Ramsdale was probably your man of the match. Salah missed a penalty. Kanate should have scored. Salah had another opportunity to score. Ramsdale made some brilliant saves. And by the end of it, you're like, as an Arsenal fan, you're like, yeah, I know we wanted to win with 2-0 up, but I guess we'll just take the point because it could have been a lot worse. Yeah. Arsenal caught life a little bit, but you have to do that sometimes. You go to Anfield, you have to do that.
I just want to say, big up Ozan Kabak says, yeah, he's a center back. That's his name. What a funny name. Big up to him. Kabak fan still out here, even though he never signed for Liverpool. You're a big Kabak fan back then. He says, big up Egal and the main man Ram and what do you call it, Joan Vertonghen. But what about Neeks? You forgot about Neeks.
Don't worry about me. I'm inconspicuous. Don't worry about me.
Inconspicuous. Wow, big words. Then we got someone here saying my flick is world class. What?
I tell you what, Curtis Jones today was very good. He was very good. He was very good today. I said this before the game. He deserved the start. He was our best midfielder against Chelsea. Actually, tried to make things happen. He deserved a start today and warranted. He performed at a very good level. And a bit disappointed that he took off quite early because certain number, Mr. 14, should have got hooked off because he wasn't that great.
I was thinking that would you have taken? Because I think you said that in the group. Would you have taken off Henderson at that point over? I think Henderson still had an impact on the game after that, even though he wasn't really.
Obviously.
No. I was gonna say the whole Henderson stuff. I didn't really care about that. I was looking at the first half again, rewinding to the first.
Oh,
half.
sorry, we're going too far forward.
Yeah,
sorry,
rewind to the first.
Okay,
half.
okay. Quickly then, before you go into your depth, the fact that he had Trent, he played Trent in this other role, and you saw that as the game went on. It started in the first half because he started off a bit poor. Arsenal were getting down the left hand side, but he was coming in as an inverted.
He did a pep.
Yeah, the way that I guess Zinchenko does for Arsenal, and
Stones does
for City, and he's playing the central midfielder role, and I was like, okay, all right, Klopp's trying something different, and it worked. Trent was brilliant.
Neeks, do you know what? I've been saying this for time. I've been saying this a lot. I respect what Trent done as right back. I'll still say he's been a quality right back, but his attacking ability is too good not to play further forward. And normally your best creators and the guys that you want to take risks are all in the midfield rather than or at wing, whatever. I do not go off the notion that he can't play in midfield because he doesn't scan properly, doesn't need. We as a team normally dominate the ball majority of the time, whether probably against City and maybe at times against Arsenal, probably United, maybe in a couple of years' time when they got Erik ten Hag's full flow. We wouldn't, but against majority, so he doesn't need to scan that much. All he needs to do is pick the ball up, look up, and see who's available. So that's what I'm saying. He can do the double pivot. If we have like a Fabinho or someone that's a lot more defensively solid or better ball retention, I'll happily play him alongside them because you have not only the full length of the field to look at, but also we won't be exposed going backwards because. People say he has the physicality and the pace to get back. He doesn't. At the top level, he doesn't. I'd rather have Joe Gomez there because he's a lot more physical. He's a physical presence, and I'd say he's defensively better. I think that's pretty fair to say. So I don't see why he can't play midfield.
To be sent off. I'm confused.
I don't know. I can't think of any challenges that he did. Konate's tackling was on point today. If he didn't get any of the tackles wrong, he could have got sent off, but he wasn't.
But Egal, let me ask you then, because you don't think Arsenal bottled it, or I think 2-0 up, top of the league, in a game that you don't have to win, but to keep the title firmly in your hands, you have to win the game. You gave it up. Is that not bottle? That's a if Spurs did that, everyone would be saying bottling, surely. Yep.
It's different.
Why is it different? It's not Spurs. When you wear red.
It's not. I'm sorry.
The reason why it's different, and I feel like we're changing the narratives here. Understand that we literally were the worst. We were the worst team on the night. On the day, we were the lower. We messed up. They're lower in the table, and they've been performing bad. But going to Anfield is never an easy game. I thought the way that the game started off, we were going to continue on our route. But we messed up big time. And if you want to call it a bottle, you can call it a bottle. But for me, I'm not going to call it that. What I'm going to say is we have come to the pressure. When anybody goes to any Big Six team and plays the second half.
Hey, Gal, no. Do you know why? Do you know why I could catch him out? Yeah.
Go ahead.
He said if we score the first goal, I can see us scoring 2 to 3. You scored
We
two
scored
goals.
two.
You scored 2 goals. You had the whole game to yourselves. You did exactly what every single away team should do at Anfield. Silence the crowd, score goals, and control how we play. You did all that until Xhaka did it Arteta. Xhaka did exactly what Mikel Arteta did last season. He decided to be a big man and elbow Trent. Trent wasn't having it, started a fight.
Sorry, that Mikel Arteta did. When did Mikel Arteta do that?
Stop. Mikel Arteta started a fight with Klopp, and that's what
Xhaka got brushed by Trent. So is he supposed to just sit
stop there? Egal. The way he didn't need to do it because first of all, he instigated it. He put his elbow on his neck.
Xhaka didn't instigate it. Xhaka didn't instigate it. Trent did. By the way, I just want to say hi to Mo. Mo, it's been over 2 months. I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, bro. I'm good. It's good to be back, guys.
You went to America. You came back. You're a WWE fan. What's going on?
Hey, what do you mean, man? I wore this hat before I even went to America, bro. What are you doing this to me for?
You're canalistic out for God's sake.
Listen,
back to Xhaka.
I just want to, just before we get back to Xhaka, this super chat right here. Big up to my guy with the super chat, second super chat of the day. What is the record? My guy said Fuad. What's his name? Fuad, the Adan Army. Fuad, the Adan Army. He said Zinchenko crying is the William Gallas moment. No,
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far, but it's a moment.
He was emotional, but I don't think he was crying.
No, he wasn't.
He was upset. He was visibly like annoyed and upset.
Yeah, he was just like this, thinking. You know what I mean?
No. He was visibly upset, and rightly so, man. It's an unfortunate moment because literally Arsenal just there wasn't long to go, man. Like he was also gonna get subbed off any minute.
It's also the fact that it seemed as though everything was going towards Arsenal. Missed the penalty, missed a 1v1.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was going Arsenal's way, but then Bobby loves his last dance against. So you know how much he loves Arsenal. So,
but Igal, sorry, because you said it's not bottling. Arsenal, Liverpool were just a better team on the night, but Liverpool weren't the better team up to the point that you made it 2-0. So at that point, you were the better team. They became you bottled it because you allowed them to become the better team. And they haven't been better team this season. They didn't start better, and they weren't better at the point where you made it 2-0. So what did you do to allow them to take over that game and never gain any hold over it? You bottled it.
I think people are saying I'm basically describing the bottle. Okay. Wait, let me explain this again. Let me explain this again, okay? Let me explain this again. I personally felt like we were the better team. Momentum switched after that situation that happened once you scored the goal. And after that, we still could have won the game. The reason why you guys are saying we bottled it is yes, because we conceded a 2-goal lead, and that's fair. But overall, if you look at the run of the game, the draw was actually a fair result.
No, it wasn't.
You were lucky to come out with a draw.
I can't lie.
To be fair, both teams had chances.
You were No, you're right. You're right. You both teams had chances.
If the draw is a fair result, and we were 2-0 up 70 minutes into the game,
both teams had chances. You're right. And if you had scored at a right moment, you maybe have made it 3-1, and it's a different game. But when you're 2-1 up and they miss a penalty to make it 2-2, it's so early in the second half. And the game actually ended 2-2 because they scored later, and all those chances in between. Listen, I'm not a big XG stat. Someone just put it into the chat. It was like 4 point something.
4.97.
Like you lot, when all is said and done, you should take that point and run with it.
Even Gary Neville said it. Gary Neville said it on the commentary. You should have just taken it.
The reason why the XG is so high, we have to give credit to Aaron Ramsdale. And I seen somebody's comment. We're going to get to it in a second because there's a lot of refereeing incidents too. But I'm not blaming the refs for this game. Don't worry. I'm literally just going to talk about it.
You better not.
I'm not blaming the ref. I'm literally going to talk about Robertson getting elbowed by one of the linesmen. That's mental. But what?
He deserved it.
What did he say?
I'm with it.
Listen,
deserved it.
listen,
What is
listen,
wrong with you,
I
lot?
don't-
What-
listen,
Why
listen.
do you hate
I'm
Robert
sorry.
that much?
No. Listen.
Listen.
Because he
Before we
fought a
get
nice
into
player.
that,
I'm not gonna lie to
I
you,
just
bro.
want to say, can everyone just give Aaron Ramsdale his props? The man, Nunes one-on-one save, the chest save that he made in the final minutes, and then finally the
Chip
most
round.
important save of them all. He made one of the saves of the season, the Mo Salah deflected chance that he had to make with one hand.
All I've got to say, he's just proving everybody what he is. He's the second best goalkeeper in the league, obviously behind Alisson, but that's by the by.
You know what,
Why
guys?
did Alisson
Before we
take
get
so
on
long
to
to come down
Robertson,
to Martinelli?
before we get on to Robertson, Hamza's
Shut
only
up.
here for like 10 minutes,
I'm
so we
not
got to
gonna
talk
say
about the
anything,
title race, right? Arsenal dropped points today. Advantage Man City, title race over, or Arsenal still in the hands? What are you guys thinking?
The stakes are a lot higher now. You can't lose against City. If you lose, I think the title's is over to City.
No. Let's look at it logically. The last time Arsenal dropped points against Everton, the week later, Man City dropped points against Nottingham Forest. So it's not all said and done. They're still in the league. They've still got the advantage. So I've got to say that it's still in Arsenal's hands. If Arsenal fans start going straight away now, no, it's Man City's to lose. I'm sorry, you're deflecting. And
No, but Alan, that's not what I'm saying. That's what.
No.
At this moment in time, Arsenal are the favourites. But what I'm saying is, they can't lose against Man City. They have to at least take points. They can't lose. If they lose, the title's gone to City.
I agree with that, but I was just talking about in regards to what Arsenal fans might start saying now. They can't start saying that they're not favourites anymore. You're still favourites. You can't just use this one off.
We're not saying we're not favourites. We're just saying advantage City.
If it doesn't apply, just let it fly. Seriously,
Fair enough.
You know the thing is, Liverpool. I mean, Arsenal and City.
Yeah.
So City play one game before they play Arsenal against Leicester at home.
Yeah.
Arsenal play
two games.
So if Arsenal win those both, if they say both teams win those games,
Yeah.
Arsenal go into that game 9 points ahead of City.
Exactly.
I get it's 2 games in hand, but that is pressure. That is
Okay.
pressure on
Let's go to Hamza. Hamza, Ozan Kabak
Finish
puts in a super chat and says, "How much did Hamza enjoy that game?" Egal ? So I'm gonna throw it to you. Kabak has asked you a beautiful question. Maybe this is the best way for you to enter the video. I know you don't have much time. Let us know. And welcome to the panel. How'd you feel about that game today? You must have enjoyed it.
Love it. I'll sleep well tonight. I will sleep a happy man. This weekend is a fantastic weekend. Long week for Arsenal fans. Pressure's gonna be on them. I'll tell you why. Before this game, Arsenal fans were chatting so much. We'll beat Liverpool. This is our only chance. We'll see. You see, this is a different Arsenal side. We've done even a remontada against Bournemouth, remontada against Aston Villa. Every comeback scored a remontada. And I said to everyone, April, and I said it to you, Ego, honeymoon period is done. Honeymoon period is done. You all laughed at me. Now cry. I wanted to tell you the truth. It's better you accept it now than later on you are hurt.
Damn.
I told Arsenal fans, honeymoon period is April. It's done. Finished. You've done your honeymoon period. Now come on, do the job. And today, I said the key thing. Weak Liverpool side. They're broken. Chelsea, who are bad, go there and get a draw. Chelsea, poor. They get a draw against Chelsea. Lucky to beat Chelsea. Yeah? Before they played us in September, October, if you had played Liverpool in October, they were different when they played us. They had Thiago Alcantara, they had Luis Diaz, who's the most dangerous player. And you didn't play with them with those players. So this side had Curtis Jones, Fabinho, Henderson. Liverpool fans were throwing the towel. I was on Twitter telling Liverpool, have some shame. Have some shame and class. Defend your club. I had to defend Wallahi. I had to jump on against Arsenal fans and threaten Arsenal fans for Liverpool. Mr. E, ads, all these guys, Liverpool fans. Oh, you know, we don't know we're going to lose. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Stop this. Have some shame. Even when I was in the mud, I would never give up. I would never throw the towel. I don't throw the towel until I see final whistle. I said, there's something, and I made that. And people said, you made it up. I said, there's something called champions mentality, heritage.
Damn.
Champions mentality is to become a champion. You need to have it. You need to have the aura. I got that heritage Aguero moment. That Aguero moment when I broke Fergie, when Fergie was doing this to their fan base and they were like, oh, and they were like looking around and seeing the, oh my God. Do you remember that capture? They captured Fergie.
My manager's
And he
name
was like,
out
just
your
clap.
fucking mouth.
That is the day.
Hamza, you lost at Anfield.
No. I lost in Anfield with a good squad. With a good squad that Liverpool had. And I shouldn't have lost because they did a smash and grab on me. Because Cancelo got turned. I'll never forget it.
That is true. We did park the bus against them.
Yeah. But when I told Arsenal fan today, do you know what was so sweet today? I said it before. I said, I want no defending of Saka and Martinelli big games. I don't want, the little kids, the youngsters. The youngsters, you can't put pressure on them.
I tell you what, I got.
If Saka's not showing me the mentality today, I want to see today. Because I want to see, I've been saying Sporting Lisbon, you said, no, we don't want to care about Europa League. I said, okay, Liverpool game, weak Liverpool side, Saka, Martinelli, show me. I rate
Martinelli
them.
got a goal and an assist.
No, I rate them.
They get
But to win games, this is when I need your star boys. Listen, when you're 2-0 up, I'll criticize few players. Zinchenko. I warned Arsenal fans. They said, oh, Hamza, you got rid of Zinchenko. I got rid of Zinchenko. The guy played Kai Havertz on side in a Champions League final, my guy. I don't have a Champions League because your man Zinchenko cost me that Champions League. Tell him that. When you sing that song, tell him that. I don't have a chance because it's Zinchenko. I swear. When I had Erik Garcia and all those guys, I'm done. Zinchenko cost you that game. He's a good player. He's a good guy. He's a lovely, fantastic guy. He'll get it. But you know that Bozo moment. I don't like Bozo moments. Bozo moment on big games, Zinchenko. And I want you not to clock it. I don't want Arsenal fans to clock it. Wallahi, I pray. I hope you don't clock it. I hope you say, Hamza, you're wrong. I want you to, until 2 years' time. Then you say, oh, shit. Oh, Hamza was right. No, don't come up for Zinchenko. Second guy, Arteta, he's my guy. I don't criticize Arteta. I love Arteta. Arteta did everything for my club. But today's banter, yeah. When he brought on 5 at the back, I knew it. When he brought 5 at the back, I thought, hey, I love this game. I knew this guy's gonna get it out. He go, well, bro, I've never been a Liverpool fan in my life.
Hamza,
you never walk alone. I was doing what this time.
Hamza, he got
He said it. He said it. Hamza, what happened to your class? What happened to your shame? What happened?
No, bro, you have to have sometimes, emotions take, emotion. Because I know you guys are so good. Listen, you're so good. You're so good. This is the game I was looking for. When you bottled a 2-0 lead, is a bottle job. You cannot deny that. Let's not talk about my champion. Oh, Real Madrid. That's what you keep bringing. You bottled a 2-0 lead. I promise you. Now, it's back to my hands. Now, I decide my fate.
No, you don't.
I decide where
they do. They technically do.
No, they don't.
It's me. It's me.
You don't decide your fate.
I need to score more goals. I need to win all my games.
No, you don't need to score more goals.
Now,
Hamza, you don't need to score more
given
goals.
It back to me. But
Hamza,
you haven't finished
this.
It ain't going to finish. Because you got to... There's one game I was looking in your calendar. I said, my brother's team, St. James Park. That's the one I was looking.
Well,
if you drop points there, you're doomed.
Hamza, well, this is it. I was looking at the fixtures earlier, and so they've got you both have to play West Ham.
Yeah, easy game.
You've got them at home. They've got them away. You both have to play Chelsea. You both put them at home. You obviously have to play each other. You're at home. They're away. But you both have to play Brighton, and your Brighton is away.
It's away.
And theirs is at home.
Yeah.
Now I think Brighton can do a job either way. I don't know, but I think it might be. But that's a big game. Other than because the other games are random. You've got Leicester, Fulham, Everton, Brentford away, and Leeds. They've got Southampton, Wolves, Forest, and Newcastle away. I think if you balance out the other games, Brentford away, Newcastle away, you'll say Newcastle away is going to be harder.
Your Newcastle away is hard, St. James Park.
Then they have to go to you. That's also obviously more difficult.
Very hard.
But then you have to go to Brighton away, and that's not going to be easy.
That
could
game,
go 3-3. That could go
listen,
3-3.
That game, I need Foden back. I need Phil Foden to do me
You got
one
Jack
job.
Grealish, man. Calm.
No.
Calm.
Grealish can play, but I need to rest my guy, Jack Grealish. I need Foden. He's got stripped up appendix surgery, whatever. He's back. I need Foden to be back because that away game is a tough game for us, but we need to grind it out. Yo, if I had to tell my players, dive, whatever you need to do, get that pen to win that game.
You know what I'm saying?
I prefer to win that game 1-0. 1-0, penalty,
last season,
dive, whatever it is, so it can hurt Arsenal fan rather than win 4-0.
Once again, you lot went to Newcastle. You lot went to Newcastle last game of the season. Sorry,
Hamza's the only person who can cook you and you're laughing. Listen, Hamza, I'm not going to lie to you. You don't control nothing. You don't control nothing. We control
They
everything.
technically do, again.
At this moment in time, Hamza advantaged Man City because before this game, we had a massive advantage.
Whoa.
One second. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. Before this game, before we played the weekend, 8-point lead, right? 8-point lead, minimal goal difference. You guys go bang 4 past Southampton. Haaland's back. Guess what? You have a Champions League game midweek. We have a game against West Ham. We're going to see where we are when we meet each other. If we still come into your house with a 6-point lead, all we need is a draw. We get a draw from you guys, advantage Arsenal again. But at this moment in time, the reason why City got a little bit more of an advantage than they did prior to this weekend is because we dropped those points. If we didn't drop the fact that we dropped those points, now you feel a little bit more comfortable. Now you feel like you get that game in hand, you win your game in hand, you get that game against us. If you beat us and you win your game in hand, we're equal. That's where we can't.
Can I say something quickly? Because I think there's been a narrative that has been not necessarily pushed, but it's been suggested that I can't, and when I say I, this is whoever's saying it, I can't see City going on a run. I can't see City going on a run. They haven't done it all season. I can't see them going on a run.
They're doing it now.
They're there. But they've been there. They've been there very, very sneakily. It's not just the run. I was talking to my guy Ramsey, and he mentioned it. He goes,
I seen him at the game, by the way.
Oh, what, today? Or
no, the last game I went to. Crystal Palace.
And he goes, when they went 2-0 down to Spurs at the Etihad,
I hope
that was the moment. Because obviously the fans were booing them. They came back and won the game 4-2, and then Pep went on that rant. Now we know that since then they've lost to Spurs and they drew with Nottingham Forest. But if you look at the performances from that second half onwards, it's been a different City. Even that game they drew Nottingham Forest, if they play that game 10 times, they win it 5-0 every single time. Somehow, Haaland missed like 3 sitters in that game. It was terrible. Since then, they have been playing unbelievable. And it's gone under the radar. Credit to Arsenal, because Arsenal's been matching them kind of toe-to-toe. Obviously, they lost to them in the FA Cup and in the Premier League. But they've been kind of going and keeping that distance. But City have been cooking. And the last few games, Leipzig, Burnley, Liverpool, who they play on the weekend?
Southampton.
They have been scoring goals, 4, 5, 6. They're cooking. And in the league, I think they're on 5 wins in a row. The league starts in April.
They're playing.
Hamza said it earlier, but that's an old saying. The league starts in April. Arsenal have a good chance to win the league. But when people were saying this months ago, guys, a long way to go. I think now, especially after that draw, Arsenal fans are like,
because if you had got that win,
there is a long way to go.
If Arsenal won at Liverpool, would have been a big result.
No, stop lying.
Stop.
Hamza, I'm gonna have to bring Mojo in because I feel like we're losing him. Mojo, you there, bro? Come inside. Come in the conversation because Mojo and Alan haven't really said much on this. What are you saying? Because I feel like this whole thing where you're gonna bring some level of balance. Do you feel like Arsenal lost the league title at this point? Do you feel like that it's completely in City's hands, or do you think it's more in the middle where it's like either team can still win it?
It's all to play for, man. I don't know why we've gotten to this point now after this match against Liverpool, where Arsenal fans, and I'm gonna say it, Arsenal fans have started to tell me, "Hey, it's advantage City. It's advantage." I'm like, why are you not giving up on your team like that? Like, why are you just abandoning the ship? Don't abandon the ship. All you gotta do is take things into your control that you control. You're gonna have to still face Man City, meaning when you face them, you know what to do. You either get a win, which is the most ideal scenario, or you get a draw and then you win the rest of your games. Guess what? You're sitting pretty at that point. But if you can't do that simple job, guess what? You're not going to win this title and you would have bottled it. Today, in particular, I don't know why Arsenal fans are trying to say that they didn't bottle a game that they have bottled. You were 2-0 up away at Liverpool, and literally you were dominant as you could be in that moment. Even the goals that you scored just looked like it was so easy
They
for you.
did
I'm like,
everything
"God damn,
right, Mojo."
are they going to score 4 goals where we headed to, and the game changed within a split second decision? That whole game just changed in terms of how it was going. By halftime, bro, it should have been 2-2. By the second half, I don't think you were in the game. I felt like it was all Liverpool, and you guys were getting situations on the break, but you didn't really have control of the game like you needed to, and that's the whole point. The thing for me,
Mojo.
we got to be honest about. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish.
The major thing for me is, right, when I'm looking at this Man City side, I said to Arsenal fans ages ago, and Arsenal fans just wanted to underestimate Man City. Man City is a team, in my opinion, you do not underestimate, because once they do get into gear, God help whoever faces them, because at the end of the day, they don't even have to be at their best. They can still get the wins. Right now, I'm looking at Haaland, who's got 30 goals, higher than my team, by the way, this whole damn season.
We're going to talk about that.
But we're going to get to that shit later on. But all I'm saying is, I'm looking at this Man City team, and I don't think this Man City team is even like prime yet. They have started to cook. They've started to get the wins, and they've been silent about it. But every game, guys, what happens is there's a game where they draw, or there's a game they don't win as convinced. It's like, oh, Pep doesn't know what he's doing. Haaland is stopping this team from playing this, and we start making conclusions that don't need to be made, man. It's very, it's very easy to see, man.
While we're here, I'm not going to lie to you. Is there anything else that we need to say about Liverpool? Because they missed that penalty. Boys, let's just quickly
Salah,
touch on this.
We got to say this, man.
What did you think of
Salah
that?
needs to stop taking pens.
Salah is a criminal, bro. Salah is a criminal.
That's why they're renewing Milner's contract, so he can stay on the pens, because this is ridiculous.
Bro, this is getting ridiculous now. Like, how can you... Rafa Benitez, whenever Steven Gerrard missed a penalty, it was like straight away Xabi Alonso takes it. But the problem is the rest of our penalty takers aren't good. Virgil van Dijk can strike a ball well, but he's not a good penalty taker. Same with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I forgot. We have got a good Fabinho. Fabinho takes penalties. He's good at penalties.
You don't want him taking
What
anything.
About Trent? Trent is a good
Trent is good. Trent is like Virgil. He can strike a ball well, but he can't take pens.
Have we seen him take pens?
Only at shoot
Trent would have been
I
good.
can't lie, man. Based on what I saw the League Cup final and the FA Cup last year, I think Trent can take penalties.
For me, Fabinho guys, is a better penalty taker. He's probably our best penalty taker.
Yeah.
Because he did the Panenka against Chelsea, didn't he?
Let Fabinho take it, but what about this incident? The referee, if you guys didn't see it, he elbowed Robertson. The PGMOL are reviewing the incident involving the assistant referee and Andrew Robertson. The PGMOL is saying we will review the incident on the PGMOL, assistant referee, whatever his name is, and Andrew Robertson. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is a disgrace.
Hey,
it is a disgrace, man.
Wait, let me say something.
You did what every rival fan wants to do to Robertson.
I don't care.
You did the job,
you're
man.
so petty.
You took one for the team. I'm clapping this, bro. I don't care.
Why are you clapping this? Have some shame.
Bro,
There's no
shame, bro. I'm sorry. If you hate a player for my team and he pisses you off, if something like this happens, you do the exact same, man.
There's different. No, Mojo. There's different ways of doing it. Mojo, I hated Rudiger, yeah, but I wouldn't elbow him. I'll just tell Milner to clamp him. That's it. We'll obviously get the ball as well, but that's different.
The ref did that job for me. He elbowed your guy. Thank you, ref.
You know the thing is, listen.
The linesman did it.
In regards,
So go on, Alan.
yeah, no. In regards to this whole incident with that, I mean, let's just look at it logically. If what happened to who is it, Mitrovic for Fulham?
Yeah.
He got extra ban. The same should apply for this linesman. It doesn't matter if you like him doing it to the player, you don't like him for that. He should get the same treatment. He shouldn't be doing
this
that.
guy, Alan's trying to be nice, man.
One second. If you look at it, Robertson actually does put his hand on him first. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. He does slightly tug him.
That's it.
Oh, so Robertson needs to be banned for 8 games? Let's go. I'm done with that.
Oh my days.
Hey, do it.
Wait, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Did he grab him or did he touch him just to say what
No,
was
How
this?
dare he grab him? Why is he touching the linesman?
1 second.
Oh
hold on.
yeah, apparently he did touch his hand. I
He
found
did- no,
another footage.
Oh, can
I found more footage. You guys let me know. Do you see this? Does it not look like he's grabbing his hand?
Yeah, he wants to
does.
hold his hand. What's wrong with holding his hand, bro?
If I
What?
finish.
He,
Why is he
that's
doing it?
why he got
It's
rid
not
of him.
him
He
being
told him,
bothered.
"Get off my hand."
So, but this is the thing. If Robertson goes over and he starts saying something, I don't know what he said, but he's obviously remonstrating about some decisions or whatever. Now, if the guy has just elbowed him because he's talking his face, which he shouldn't be up that to the linesman anyway, but it doesn't necessarily give the linesman the right to throw his arm in that way. So if that's the case, then yeah, then maybe there should be some punishment. But if Robertson has grabbed his hand, then to be honest, that reaction is fair. I'm not. It's not a guarantee that he necessarily went full elbow like that. He's throwing it like, don't hold me, get off.
You, Sophia.
Players shouldn't be touching refs. But if a ref touch a player first, or a player
Bruno
touch a ref-
definitely needs this.
no, but this is the Bruno.
Bro,
I agree with that guy too.
But this is the Bruno. The linesman touched Bruno.
Yeah.
The linesman's walking away, and Robertson's going up to him. And if he has grabbed his arm, then he has his right to kind of
Robertson
push
didn't give
Robertson
back.
away.
You
I
know
don't
what?
even know
Let's
if it
just read
wasn't
this
just an
super chat.
accident.
Kabak says, Egal. By the way, I agree with Sophia. She said something also earlier. She said that's shameful. The ref should not be doing that. But now that we've done the VAR review, Kabak, who's a Liverpool fan, has come in and said, Egal Ram, watch Robertson get suspended for this, and the referee for the PGMOL, they will always protect their own. That is true. They're gonna find a way to flip it and make it Robertson's the problem.
Well,
you still don't elbow a man. You still don't elbow a man in the
Listen,
face.
if someone grabs my arm, best believe I'm saying get off me.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you off.
But did he grab him or did he touch him?
I don't
There's a
know.
difference
He
between grabbing
literally-
and touching.
Why are you touching
His
me though?
arm-
Why are you touching me?
His arm
Bro,
was
you
behind
want to
him.
have a conversation. You want to whisper in his ear. Obviously, you're gonna do something
If
like
you want
that.
to have a
Guys,
conversation,
Can you
have
see?
the
Can you see the
conversation, but
guy
don't
is
touch
fully
me. Why
grabbing his
touch me?
arm? He's fully holding his arm.
No, wait.
But then it's a
This is why
still
stills-
egal.
no, hold on. This is why stills are misleading because
Yeah.
that is in the middle of the elbow going up. That's not him
Yeah.
grabbing
So
his
he
arm.
could
His
be
arm is
blocking his
grabbed
face.
beside him, and the linesman instantly goes from his arm beside. As soon as he gets touched, it's straight up. It's no hesitation.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go
that means
find
let
video
me go.
footage. Let's go find
Is he
video
expecting
footage.
something?
It was
Well,
Let's go
basically
find video footage.
Let's go find the video footage. Can I
Whilst-
just say something in regards to this game? This is the first time I've seen Arsenal this season scared and go into their shells. They lost against Everton a little while ago, but they were the team on top. It was just not their day, and you could see in the way they played. So they went 2-0 up against Liverpool side, who were absolutely awful defensively.
Oh, shit.
You should have been 3 or 4-0 up, but you weren't. And then when you conceded that goal, and in the second half and all that, you went further into your shells. I saw Arteta looking like he didn't know what he did because you've come back again, done against Man United when Man United equalised. You scored a very quick goal. You've made a habit that season getting a quick goal back after losing the goal. But you went into your shells. This is why I said on my channel, is this the turning point where Arsenal now go into their shells and just don't play the attacking football that they have, or let games or situations get to them? It will be good to see how Arsenal react to this, but it looked for the first time this season that you were scared to play football.
And you know what?
Alan,
I don't disagree
going
with you.
back home,
We've got into a shell of ourselves. But let me just show you guys this so we can move on from the Arsenal-Liverpool game.
Okay.
Robertson comes close to him, tries to get his attention by touching him, and that's where he throws his elbow. Did you see that?
It was an instant thing.
So
Yeah.
just
Go
take
back
out my
one frame.
hand.
Go back one frame.
It was to tell him, let me go. The fuck?
Yeah, let me go. It's nothing malicious, man.
Ready? You guys ready to see it?
Straight away.
Guys,
back.
no, it's not. It's
hard
that.
to see. It's hard to
Bro,
see.
how did he touch him? How did
Is
he
that-
That is intentional.
No,
Is
because
that-
when you do that, you just swing your arm around,
is
not
that-
your elbow.
1 second, everyone
Is
in the
that
comment
clear?
section. Is that bad? Is it as
No.
bad as it seems?
We're exaggerating,
No.
bro.
If
It's an
Robertson's
elbow
touched
to
him,
the face.
if Robertson's touched him, it's all fair game. If Robertson hasn't touched him, then you can't do that. You can't just throw your arm back.
Robertson did touch him, but
Well, then-
Does that warrant a man getting elbowed in the face?
Because
mate?
the elbow is a
100%.
result of him brushing him off. He hasn't gone.
No, but the way he did, it wasn't right. It's more of an elbow to the face.
Just like, get away from me. You don't touch me and all that. But
You know
literally,
what, guys?
can't-
There's so much other
instant
stuff we
like
got to talk about. Can we just acknowledge one thing? Man City are boring. They win games. Bice was right. Bice was
Hamza.
right.
How did we
Bice
get
was
here?
right.
They're not
Hamza,
boring.
Hamza,
City-
what's this, bro?
Man City are not entertaining for the Premier League. They just
No,
win
I-
everything.
no,
It's not even
yeah, I
fair
think-
anymore.
No, Igal, I think that was the case previous, maybe at least definitely last season. But now that you got Haaland there, I think it's definitely like they put more direct balls going forward. He scored a brilliant overhead kick. Like I think,
And I was
Hamza, is
reading
Haaland world
something.
class?
I was reading something that
Hamza,
Man
is Haaland-
City are the most liked watched team across the world, that people enjoy watching Man City play. And I read it.
How did they
Sky
judge
Sports-
this?
One
How did they judge this?
One second, I'm going to
Yeah.
bring the article. And Sky Sports and BT often fight for City games. And it makes sense. Why?
Don't lie.
Why would
Don't
I
lie.
pay? Why
Don't
would I
lie.
pay my money of £50 to watch bums? I'm sorry, no, not to watch bums, but Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. These are world class. Rodri, they're world class. I'll prefer to pay my money and say, yo, I'm witnessing that, rather than you say, oh, okay, I'm going to watch Curtis Jones play. I'm going to watch a little bit of Darwin Núñez at the back, and then Trent getting robbed every time. Nah, City are very entertaining. Like, people want to pay.
You know why you're entertaining?
And the person who said that is a Chelsea fan. Are they really entertaining?
Hamza, you know why?
You
know why?
What a joke.
Hamza, you know why Chelsea fans said that to you? Because Erling Haaland has scored more goals than his club.
Yeah, it's a joke, man. It's a failure. A club that's failed and will continue to fail. Absolutely. So
Wait,
to them, I don't know what they talk
Shut your
about.
damn
They don't know
mouth.
about
Hamza. Don't get, just because I'm a nice guy, don't get it twisted, mate. If I gotta back my club, I'll be here to back my club. All right. If there's any failure, mate, you've been bottling the Champions League for as long as I've known you, mate. So let's not do this.
There we go.
Let's not do it, mate. Let's not do this. You better
Hey,
win the
go.
Champions League this year. You better win it, mate. If you bottle
Hey,
it, bro,
go.
we're gonna have tough conversations.
Get
No,
up.
Mo talking. Don't call it out.
we should
No,
consider.
guys, don't call her. Yeah,
Speak to
exactly.
Mo, man. Speak to
Mo
Mo.
is talking to you.
Yo, people,
If they
big up
finish it-
everyone.
Don't
Big up
get
Big
me
Six
started,
fans.
man.
People hit that goddamn like button
big
right
up
now.
Monty,
Shit
I
man.
might be
down.
11th, but don't worry about it, man. I'll spend another 600 million this summer again,
You're
and I
not
will be
that
back
guy
where I need to
anymore.
be,
Yo,
mate.
you got
You're
Liverpool
not that
fans
guy.
helping City saying don't hype up.
You've learned money doesn't buy you success. You're throwing
It
the
will
money
buy me
away,
whatever I
and the
choose it to
happiness
be,
is not
mate.
there.
It will
How
buy me
much
whatever.
money do you need
We've
to
done
Hamza,
all
throw
the
away?
management
Hamza,
situation wrong by the
Hamza,
looks of
one
it.
second. Hamza, do you really want to forget about the City segment and go straight to Chelsea?
These guys
Yeah.
are dumb. Please listen. He should be going on a Chelsea space, listening to Todd Boehly as a listener. Their owners comes on Twitter Spaces to take notes about these guys, what they're saying. What a
No,
joke
to
of a club.
understand.
What a
That's
joke of a club.
how they. That's how they.
What a
very
joke
good.
of a
I
club.
love it.
This club
Sheikh
is.
Mansour is nowhere
I
to
love
be
it.
found, mate. He's never listened
But
to you.
imagine.
All this shouting
Boehly
you've done,
comes
he's
in
never
to
listened to you.
listen
Todd
to
once.
Boehly. Wait, Todd Boehly was on. No, wait. Todd Boehly must have been on Rory Jennings' space, and that's how they ended up hiring. Lampard.
Happy.
Because
big up,
how has
Yo,
Lampard
he
listen,
watches Rory Jennings content.
on the day that Jesus rose at Anfield and in the Bible, somehow
Wait, who
Lampard
rose?
has risen from the dead. How is he
Listen.
back?
First of all,
Listen.
First of all, this is called legend privilege. Sometimes you guys have to understand legends have privilege that some people don't. Simple
they?
as Lampard
Yes.
ending up here is no shock to me. It's
But
called
he's horse
vibes.
shit, bro.
Huh?
He's horse shit.
One
So
second,
is
one second.
Gerrard. Why,
Guys,
why,
guys,
why you
guys,
acting like
guys.
you're not gonna
Why are you
play?
bringing Gerrard into this? At
Guys,
least he's
guys,
won a
guys,
trophy
one second.
as a
Does
Does
manager.
anybody have
He's trash.
anything else to
He's
say
trash.
about City?
At least he won a trophy as a manager, bro.
Guys, does anybody have
Oh,
anything
nice,
else to say
nice.
about City, or
Well
should we
done,
just
mate.
move
Well
on?
done.
What's
In the
Lampard done?
Scottish-
What's
in the
Lampard
Scottish-
done? What's
Okay,
Lampard
one
done?
second,
Who cares
one
about
second.
Scottish
Bottle
league?
One
playoffs.
second.
That's what he
We're
did.
gonna get
Bottle
on to
playoffs.
Chelsea.
That's
Man
what he
needs to
did.
humble
Top
himself, mate.
four.
Just because they
Yo,
play
guys,
well,
chill.
he's
Chill. We're gonna get on to Chelsea. I'm just gonna say, does anybody have anything else to say about City, or am I right?
You know what, City? I hope you bottle the freaking Champions League, Hamza. We'll have some conversations. Don't worry, man. I'll
You
be
know,
there.
the
Front
very-
line.
All
Front line.
there
Kate.
is
I'll
to
be
say
there on
about
the
Man
street.
City, all there is to say, they control their destinies now. Like Arsenal controlled theirs. It's now 50-50. Both of you control your own destinies. I.e., the match at the Etihad between Arsenal and Man City is going to probably decide the title.
And
Rory
just
was
quick,
on EastEnders. He's untouchable. He's bigger than YouTube, apparently.
quickly,
I have
we
nothing
have
to
to
say.
big up. We have to also big up what's the name? KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, 100 assists in the guy who had the record was what's his name? Cesc Fabregas, yeah. With
who cares?
57 less games, that's 1.5 less season. Yeah, one
Hamza,
season and
who
a half.
cares? Who
Hamza,
cares?
okay.
No one cares.
Hamza,
No one cares.
There's
Only
level to
me
this
for
game
100
when you're
assists.
bringing rejects from Barcelona to come here
Man
to
called
try and
a
sit on the same table with Kevin De Bruyne. It's a joke.
One second. Make it right. The
How many
record he
Champions League
broke,
has Kevin De Bruyne got?
the record he broke was the 100.
Fabregas ain't got one as well.
He got
Oh my
100.
God.
He got
Quickest
100 assists in the fastest time, right?
Yeah, 100 assists. Like
You know
by
what?
57 games. 57 games. There's level to
who
this game.
cares?
57 games. That's
Who
mad.
cares?
That's
Who
crazy.
cares? Who
That's
cares?
crazy.
Wait, sorry. Wait, one second. How many games?
He scored 100. No, he made 100 assists in less than, I think it's 227 games. Is it?
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay, there we go.
57
One second,
games
let me
less
find.
than
It's
I like to give accurate
237.
information. Huh?
237.
That's a lot, bro. That's world class, bro. That's level, man. That's one assist every 2.5 games. Are you joking?
Well, Hamza, no
I was
offense. Who
serious, man.
cares?
You
Who
know
I was
what?
serious.
To be honest, the
I was
reason why
serious.
you're rattled is because his KDB is now bigger status than Steven Gerrard in the Premier League.
Bruv, I don't care.
Yeah.
I really do not care.
You
I
don't
I
care about
honestly
Steven
don't
Gerrard?
care.
I
But
really
I don't
You
care.
don't care about
I
Steven
just
Gerrard?
already,
What
it
am I
already
hearing here?
solidifies what I've already know. KDB's world class. Cool
Okay,
shit.
fair
Wait a minute.
enough.
You don't care about Steven Gerrard, and you're a Liverpool fan?
Oh yeah, Son
If I
also.
talk about Steven Gerrard, it's gonna be long, bro.
Son
Like I said,
also got
I'll make it
100.
easy for you. If he moved to Bayern, people will appreciate him more. But it is what
By
it
the
is.
way, Son also got 100, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he?
You would have got 100 a bit
Yeah.
earlier.
Like, Ikaw, honestly, who I get is all great achievements
He would have
individually.
got
but
100
who
goals
cares?
sooner if he had played football.
Who cares?
That's what I was saying.
Exactly,
They
Neeks.
care.
Exactly my
Fans
point.
care. Son's getting 100 goals for Tottenham, and him getting 100 assists are massive.
Alan,
achievements
do
for
you care
themselves.
about this?
Anyways, we're gonna move on quickly.
No, I don't care about him getting 100 goals because, like Nick said, he should have got 100 goals sooner because he hasn't played football half this season. He's been absolutely
There
awful.
we go.
You know what?
Please.
Should we talk about Tottenham now and the massive crazy referee decision there? Before
I thought we talk
actually,
about Chelsea, man.
I just want to read this super chat quickly.
We're 11th. There you go, man.
What is
David's
that? Can someone read this, please? Quest to
question
January.
two.
Question to Jan Vertonghen. What do you make of Son's 100 Premier League goals? The goal to get the 100 was a brilliant goal, but yeah, when you've got 7 or 8 goals this season, 3 of which is against Leicester in 13 minutes, and then you haven't shown up for the rest of the 24, 25 games. Don't care. Not good enough.
You know what?
Damn.
Can we all just acknowledge that? Forget about Chelsea for a second. I was going to go Chelsea next. Let's go to Tottenham quickly. They had the luckiest 2-1 win in Premier League history, in my opinion. Also, they had Harry Kane and Son deliver again. They had De Zerbi and Stielini, who used to play against each other, who don't like each other, reportedly, had their backroom staff fighting each other, and they got sent off for it. That's a rule, supposedly. And this game had everything. It literally had everything. Penalty calls, disallowed goals, disallowed a red card that could have been given, but it was only they never ended up giving a call anyways. There was a whole thing that that an Arsenal fan put up of all the decisions that went against Brighton. Harry Kane got kicked in his ankle and started holding his other knee. It was mad.
It would be an Arsenal fan to put that up, isn't it?
Listen,
Has to be pointed out, man.
Yeah.
listen, these things are blatant cheating. And also, Son got his 100th goal. It was a beautiful goal. Kane, once again, delivering for everyone's fantasy team. And we need to speak about the PGOL officially coming out with another apology for another team. Guys, are you not sick and tired of these apologies?
Yes.
They don't
I'm
mean
sick and tired of refereeing, man.
The problem is,
They
the
don't
problem
mean any of
is
it.
Howard Webb is the problem here. Howard Webb came back into the Premier League, PGMOL, whatever it is, to manage the VAR. Oh, someone just said it there. To manage the VAR. And his statement that he made, and I'm gonna paraphrase it, but it's along the lines of we want to use VAR less. So we've got VAR, but we're gonna use it less. The threshold to overturn decisions is gonna increase post the World Cup, which means now we're seeing things like this that are clear and obvious. I don't even like that phrase because what the hell does that mean? But it's a clear wrong decision. Howard Webb is saying, well, if you can find any reason not to give it, or to not go to the screen, then do it. So they'll try and find any reason. They'll say he was probably stumbling before, or it's the natural position where his foot was going to land and Mitoma's foot just happened. They'll find any reason, because how has the other referees in looking at the screen looked at that and not seen the penalty? It's because Howard Webb's telling them, don't go to the screen. It's ridiculous. If the VAR is there, use it to the fullness of its. If you have to go to the screen 10 times a game, you go to the screen 10 times a game to make sure you get 10 correct decisions. Now, you might not get 10, you might get 9. But I'd rather you go to the screen 10 times and get 9 correct decisions as opposed to go at 0 times and get 5 incorrect decisions purely because you want the game to move on. And you want to allow the referees to kind of control and make all the decisions. What's the point of having VAR? It's ridiculous. You know, that's the problem with Premier League. This is not the first time that VAR or any kind of technologies come in, and we over here has thought, oh, we're going to do it different to everyone else. So there was we weren't sending the referees to the screen originally when VAR came. It was purely made a decision upstairs. Whereas everyone else in every other competition across Europe and the world, FIFA, etc., they were sending the referees to the screen. And we just keep catching up very, very late. And now we've gone backwards. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And Hamza's left the stream. So unfortunately, I don't get to read Aaron's super chat to him. Aaron Ramsey's super chat. Hey. Hamza, hit me up. Save your hairline. Bro, I need it too, man. Hit me up.
Well, hey, remember what KJ says. Bold is best, isn't it? Bold is best.
Okay. In certain scenarios, bold is not best.
In what scenarios?
Now, why you gotta ask the question? Let's talk about football, guys.
All right, you know what? We move on, guys. Does anyone else want to talk about that referee decision? Because I feel like Neek's covered a lot of the bases. Do you guys have anything else to add on that? I just think the referees are not gonna ever own up to these mistakes unless they're highlighted by us in the media consistently, and it's gonna get to a point where they eventually have to have like the ability for people and managers to double check them during the game.
Why is it that it's always in England, we're always behind everybody else in terms of whether it be football management, tactics? Now it's VAR. Like, why are we always behind? We don't even operate with that 3D line offside thing that the UEFA use.
That's not anywhere yet. That's not anywhere yet.
But UEFA use it, no?
That's only for FIFA and Champions League, and only certain countries are able to even have the information or contact.
I think it's what is that for the semi-automated offsides?
Yeah,
he's talking about the line. You know the line that they use in the World Cup and in the Champions League.
I think that's only FIFA and UEFA.
That's only FIFA and UEFA.
Okay, fair enough. But at the same time, it's been how long have we used VAR for? 3 or 4 years? Like, come on.
Bro, to be honest, we only really started using it correctly this year. And even that was shit.
But it's like, were there any English referees in the World Cup this year?
Yeah, there was.
I think Michael Oliver was there.
Oliver.
And Anthony Taylor, actually.
Anthony Taylor. But you know what? It doesn't matter how many English referees are in the World Cup. The reality is when they're here, and forget about that. The French referees are worse. Every country has their own problems. It's just how does England deal with it?
So in regards to the whole scenario with the referee's decision and all that, I'll admit Spurs got away with one yesterday. Got a lot of decisions went away they shouldn't have. I've seen another angle now of the second goal Brighton scored that was disallowed for handball. It wasn't handball, hit him on the hip. The Mitoma one was a penalty, wasn't given. I can admit to all of these. Stuff went in our favour, but it balanced itself over the season. Spurs have had decisions way back earlier in the season that went against us, and it hasn't. Let's talk about
Klopp was on AFTV.
Yeah, he must not have been on AFTV.
I know Carragher was.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
So in regards to the thing, and I see somebody saying about Kane diving and all that. Let's talk about like the whole thing that happened with Everton, and it's all about Kane diving. Kane, the thing happened with the screw on a.
He was actually.
In his face. But Kane did go down super easy. I don't deny that. But
Are you talking about the poke in the face and the saxophone?
It was a scratch. It was scratched down the face, literally like that. And obviously, he did then make a meal of it. But let's look at what happened today on the pitch again with Arsenal and Liverpool. Konate clears the ball, doesn't touch Martinelli, and Martinelli throws himself to the floor, claiming he'd been booted in the face, but there was nothing.
Yes, Alan. Yes.
Every player does that. The Man United fan who said about players diving, your Bruno Fernandes throws himself down crying. Absolutely nothing. It happens all the time. Anthony throwing himself to the floor. Players make the most of it to get players sent off. It happens across the thing. The whole thing, because it's Harry Kane, is absolutely just pathetic. Grow up and get over it. Every player does it. Martinelli done it today and looked like an absolute idiot doing it. But players do that. I accept players do that to try and get people sent off. It happens in football. But with Kane, he actually was. Look back to the Battle of the Bridge when Dembele done that to Costa in the eye. He got a 6-game ban for it.
Yo, guys.
Things
funny.
1 second. There's a difference between Martinelli doing it and Kane doing it for years. Let me just show you a couple photos. This is just a quick search. You got another one here. You got another one here where he should have been sent off for that moment. You got another one here.
Season,
if you remember
that
this
was
one,
funny.
They literally had him reviewing his own dive, and he's like, you know what? I got hit there.
He did get that one. He got clips. It showed it was the keeper that caught him, not anything like that. Romero. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Romero's a fucking. He should go down for GBH after things he does and all that. He's a liability for Spurs. I don't condone everything he does. Sometimes he does some fair tough tackles, but more often than not, he's a liability on the pitch. I don't.
Yeah. I just had a look. Klopp was on AFTV.
What the hell? The hell's that?
Was he?
I swear to God, something was on my mic.
It must have been like a gnat or something.
Yeah, it was something that flies around. Listen, it scared the shit out of me. But yo, we gotta move on. We spent too much time on the Tottenham game. Alan, do you have anything else to say before we go?
Things went against Brighton and Spurs won. Deal with it.
Fair enough. You know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. You want to know something? You guys kept telling me we were crying about it for weeks. If this game means that they don't make Europe because of 2 points, they're going to be crying all year. But there's not many Brighton fans to cry anyways.
No, but that's not the thing, because we should have got Rodri should have got a handball for it last season. That cost us the league. It is what it is.
The league table at the end of the season doesn't lie. So if Brighton don't finish in European positions, because they didn't deserve to finish in European positions.
You know what? Who should we talk about first? Chelsea's situation, Todd Boehly, 100 million, or should we talk about Rashford and their manager crying about Rashford's injury?
Chelsea. Yo,
go Mojo. Talk to me. Have you been to many games, or you've been away from games?
I've been to any game that I can go to as long as I'm not ill in it.
Similar to N'Golo Conte, you've missed the whole Graham Potter era. How does it feel?
I have not missed the whole Graham Potter era, my friend. He's been our manager for 7 months. I was there throughout. And so let me make a few things clear, because I don't want people to just assume I was a fan of us even firing him, because you know me. I'm not a fan of firing managers. I don't think he was doing great. I think he was definitely underachieving, and he could have done a lot better with the squad that we managed to assemble by January. But I expected him to have all the struggles that he did. And I think one thing that is very clear with Chelsea is that the next appointment needs to be correct. And my fan base needs to learn a lot about patience, because we keep doing this thing of, firing managers, and a lot of the people are under the impression that because it worked so well for us at the beginning of our Roman era, that it will continue to work well for us. But when you look at the last 10 years, the amount of firings we have done, it has actually not worked out whatsoever. And the fact that we have through 4 managers in the space of in the space of this whole season so far, is an absolute joke. I think these owners, they generally have to learn a lot about what they've done wrong. And for me, last summer's window was not good enough, and they didn't give Tuchel the backing that he needed, all the players that he had asked for, or the profiles he identified, I should say, in this case. And it backfired because the results and the way the team was playing, everything about it just went horribly wrong. Players were not happy with the way that their preseason
Is this
went
true,
either.
Mojo?
What is?
Did he actually ask an actor, James Corden?
Okay.
No
And
way.
do you want me to give you the obvious answer to this question, which is hell no, he didn't, and it's just a dumb easy thing to write so that people just eat it up. But you know what? Eat it up, because anything negative for Chelsea right now is probably going to make you good money. We're keeping a lot of journalists in their jobs, man. So I'm happy for them. But like I was going to say to you lot, I think when it comes to our club, I'm under the impression that there's a lot of lessons to be learned. These new owners rushed the decision to fire Tuchel. I said this to you months ago when that happened, and I said the repercussions for making a decision like this is a big move. And when you're going to say, I'm going to back my own guy, and you can't back him after 7 months, you look horribly foolish. And they look foolish right now. The fact that they've gone with an interim doesn't surprise me. I think they're just trying to win the fans back. So I'm here for the vibes, nothing else. Yesterday's performance was shocking as hell. Probably one of our worst performances since we got this bunch of new players. And nobody's going to say much about it because they're like, well, the season's already over. But honestly speaking, I don't think Graham Potter would have had us playing like that.
1 second. First thing, that was one of the goals of the year. That goal that that guy scored, crazy goal. I don't think Kepa could really do much. And then second of all, I don't know if you know, Mojo, but I've been fighting people over Chelsea for well over a couple of years now. And this year, I've never been more right. I've continuously said Todd Boehly's the problem, and a lot of people say to me, "You're crazy." Basically, what they're doing is they're saying he's acknowledged that everything that he did up until January is wrong, but since January, you guys have changed your whole club, and now you guys have been running well. Do you agree with that statement that people have been making?
Up to the point of firing the manager, yes. I think you firing the manager for me shows that you are not about what you said you were, which is you fired Thomas Tuchel, in my opinion, one of the best managers in the world. And you decided, you are going to hire someone that is aligning more with your vision and have a period where you're going to obviously try and change the club's culture and change everything. And you said, this is the guy we're going to invest our time in. This is the guy that they put a lot of PR behind. In fact, when we hired Potter in the first month of hiring him, there were articles going around speaking about why Chelsea finishing outside the top 4 will not mean him getting sacked, because the board understand that they're going through a massive transition. To me, what they have done is that they've shown me when they've spent all the money, you behave in my opinion, people might not actually agree with me on this. In my opinion, they've behaved worse than Roman would have done in this situation. Because to fire 2 managers in the space of 7 months shows pure incompetence, pure reaction, pure PR on their part. And honestly, until they figure their ish out and take this tough lesson with them, and I think they will. The reason why I also think they'll learn this lesson is the finances have now come out and they can see the losses on the freaking on the balance books, and it's not looking good. Which means
Chelsea have become the first Premier League club to accumulate losses exceeding $1 billion.
Yeah, wow. Which a lot of it is justified because obviously they put us under a sanction. A lot of it was impacted by that. A lot of it was also just the money that they put through in terms of signing players, which I said, you know what? If you're going to do this and you're then not going to spend going forward because you're going to be far more smarter with your money, sign the best young talents available, etc. so on, it can work. But that means then you need to align everything to be actually properly run well together. The problem is we signed how many ever players? 15 or 16 players during that January window. We bloated our squad and we expect an inexperienced manager to suddenly somehow fix everything overnight. And in my opinion, he pointed all of that stuff out.
You know what? I'm just going to say this. It gets better, guys.
Yeah.
They have a quarterfinal with Real Madrid at the Bernabéu this weekend.
That don't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That don't matter.
It's going to be an embarrassment.
They lost against Real. Lost against Villarreal, man. It won't be embarrassing. They'll just lose. That's
the
it.
The thing is, bro. For me, we go through Real Madrid, and what we have awaiting us is either Bayern Munich or Man City, who are not anywhere near as good as.
Forget about it.
Okay,
you ain't getting for Real Madrid.
I'm like, bro. People telling me about embarrassment. We're 11th place, bro. We're past embarrassment at this point.
I got Mojo. I got a question for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try and phrase what one of our good friends at the Terrace, David, said about Chelsea and his owners. Do you think the owners are only picking what would best suit the proper Chelsea people, if you get what I mean?
And no, I generally don't. And the reason why I say that is because Chelsea, for him to fire Tuchel when he did, I don't think people are grasping how much of a big blow that was to the match-going fans. The match-going fans were not happy about Tuchel getting fired. So that was a big, massive call and risk that they took. And and the way they communicated it also wasn't great. It was actually horrendous. So from the moment Potter walked in my opinion, the job was against him. Because people.
But what about bringing in Lampard? I meant bringing in Lampard is just to appease the proper Chelsea people.
Oh, that one is to appease any Chelsea fan that goes to matches right now. Because people are not going to blow up at Lampard, but they will at anybody else. So what can you do in the meantime whilst you get your management situation correct? Personally, the way I see it, this season's done. Like, we have nothing to play for in the Premier League. A lot of people were trying to convince me.
Your season was done when you sacked Tuchel, to be fair.
Which is what I said to people, and people didn't want to believe me. And at that moment, they were saying to me, "Oh no, why are you trying to say this squad is worse than it?" I'll say, and I said, "Guys, we've got to be honest, bro. If you pull up the starting lineup we had against Newcastle away, and just like late last year, I think it was like somewhere in November. If you pull up the starting lineup we had then, and you look at that squad and you say they're deserving of top 4 with the manager that we had in charge, which is Potter." I think we're smoking stuff. Like, honestly, we do not deserve to be there. And we're undermining how much of an incredible job that Thomas Tuchel was doing. Our squad was dire, and he came in and made it look so much better than what it actually was. And then the problem was when people got ahead of themselves and started piping up and saying things like, we are title favorites because we had won the Champions League. I'm like, guys, all you have to do
What was it? The 1-0 win?
Their 1-0 win to Newcastle, yeah. Look at the starting lineup, bro, and just put it up on the screen right now.
Okay. So you had Ismail Assar playing your left back.
Bro, just put it up.
Ismail Assar?
No, not Ismail Assar.
Malang Sarr.
Whatever his name is, Sarr.
No, but I'm talking this season, not last year, by the way.
This is last season.
Nah, so this is the wrong one. The one I'm talking about is this season.
This is when was this? 2021, 2022 Chelsea.
You beat Chelsea 1-0.
That's the one we played at home. Kai Havertz scored in the last minute.
Okay, so which one is it? Because that's the most recent game you guys played.
No, that's not the most recent game.
2022, 2021.
Your thing is acting up, bro, because that's not the most recent game we played. We played them literally late last year.
We must have played them this season already.
Yeah, we've played them once already. We still have the second game to go. I just think it's not showing up correctly.
Yeah, when Newcastle beat you 1-0.
Oh, is this March?
Yeah, because that's March 2022, bro. The one I'm telling you is November.
Where Willock scored?
Yeah, Willock scored that goal. It's literally in the Premier League, bro.
Oh, I got it up here. It's Mendy, Aspilicueta, Chalobah, Koulibaly, Lewis Hall, Kovacic, Jorginho, Loftus-Cheek.
Oh, Gallagher, here we go.
Broja. That one,
Here we go. Yeah.
Go down. Look at this lineup, bro.
Gallagher, Lewis Hall, Chalobah.
Only player that I don't think deserves to play. I do think deserves
Mendy
to play is probably Chalobah, Kovacic, Jorginho, and Broja.
So Mojo, what are you trying to tell us with this lineup that we're looking at?
Basically, when you look at that lineup and the way that knowing how I know this team will play together and our performances there actually showed it, and we were never good enough to be in top 4 with this type of lineup. The thing is, injuries happened. As soon as injuries happened and we lost the ones that we could at least rely on, you don't see a Thiago Silva there. You don't see a Fofana there. You don't see a Reece James there. You don't see a Chilwell. You don't see Cucurella. Like, literally, you go towards the front line. There's no Sterling. There's no Kai Havertz. There's no... Literally, I can go on. we were down to bare bones by the time we got to January. Then we throw 15 players at the problem and think it's going to magically fix it. It was never going to fix it. And that's what I was trying to point out to people. Just because you throw a bunch of players together doesn't mean that they're going to gel and work the way that they need to, especially with someone like Graham Potter, who we all know, even at Brighton, it took him a while to get it going in that club. And I'm like, at Chelsea, he's going to have the same struggle with no patience, with too much money spent. It's going to be a lot of pressure. I hope these owners are about what they're saying, and they aren't. Unfortunately, they dropped the ball when
because you're not protected. You're not one of those fans. A lot of the fan base that I've spoken to recently on the terrace specifically, and like Lewis and stuff, they're telling me that Chelsea Football Club are making the right decisions. And specifically, Neeks, if I'm not mistaken, you watched the video too. I was told that there was 2 mistakes that they've made, which was sacking Boehly and hiring Graham Potter. So Neeks,
sacking Tuchel and hiring Potter is the biggest.
And those are the only mistakes you've made, and everything else has been good. And also, your signings since January have been great, apparently, or good. What was the word you used?
The signings made are all potential signings, most of them, bro. Other than the World Cup winning Enzo Fernandez, that I think has actually added something immediately, and Felix, who has shown quite a lot of promise. The rest of them are future players, bro. None of them were going to have instant impact. Why are we lying to everybody?
Apparently, I was told they're good signings.
They're good signings in the long term. But they're not good signings now.
Potentially.
But we can't determine that right now.
The person most culpable at Chelsea for this season is Todd Boehly, because literally he's Mike Ashley with money. He has no clue about football and he's just throwing money at players. That's all he is. Let's look at what he's done. So he's come in. He's decided he's going to sack Tuchel for his manager, Potter, who he picked. He then throws money at every single person, putting a whole mess of a team together, not actually getting a plan together. He's gone like that. It's like I said on the terrace. He's like he's playing Monopoly. He's gone around really quickly and gone, oh, buy that, buy that, buy that, buy that. And now all of a sudden he's got the manager and he's gone like, I'm going to have to get rid of that manager, mortgage my manager to be able to get somebody in. He's then gone and appeased the fans by getting Frank Lampard, who was awful at Chelsea for most of the time he was there, awful at Everton, to appease fans. He has no clue.
But this is the issue.
He has no clue what he's doing. And Chelsea fans are going, it's okay, it will come good. But what if it doesn't?
No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying the problem was already there. Marina, they didn't want her. Petr Cech, they didn't even know what his job was. Your team was already declining. Your club was already declining. You haven't won the league in 5 or 6 years. And the issues were already there. So it's not Todd Boehly's fault. It was Roman's fault.
That's partly true in the sense that the mess of a squad that we had in the past 5 years is definitely down to the former owners. But everything that was being made as a decision from the summer onwards, when these new owners were in charge, they got to take accountability, bro. It's on them. They didn't have the behind-the-scenes people, these sporting directors and all of these people that we were interested in, that we finally have in charge, to be able to make some of the decisions that we did. And we rushed it. Because they had a misunderstanding with Thomas Tuchel, they said, fam, you don't align with our vision. You got to go. They sacked him instead of probably the person that was the best placed to help them through this mess. That's what drives him mad. He was there for 18 months. That is the guy you rely on to drag you through this mess, because he understands what you're walking into more than you do. But instead, he got the blame, and they took him out and then said, we're going to hire someone else, gave him 5 years, 12 million a year. And now, as soon as they got difficult, 7 months later, they got rid. I'm glad that they've done this whole interim thing for one reason, because I'm like, this next management decision that you make, it better be correct, and it better come with the type of people that you're looking for to actually lead the club to the right results, because next year we cannot afford to miss the Champions League, because the punishment for missing it from FFP and just in general with the players that we have is far too big for us to even take for a second season in a row.
I'll be honest, you're lucky you're in a position with the points on the top board that you are with Frank Lampard, because if you would have come in a couple of games earlier and you didn't have 39 points on, you had about 30, 31, Chelsea would be getting relegated under Lampard with his team. I'll be honest, that is how you've been this season. You're lucky you're 39 points. I'll be honest, you're 11th at the moment. I see you coming about 14th, 15th this season. I don't think it's getting any better. I think you'll only pick up about 4 more points this season.
Look, all I care about, Alan, all I care about is one win. And I'm not gonna lie to nobody here. The one win I care about is beating Arsenal so that they don't win this freaking Premier League title. It's the only
Wow.
win I care about.
This is a good
Anything
comment.
else doesn't matter to me, bro. As long as we
I-
survive for another year, where I finish after that, I don't care, bro. It's already
Guys,
done.
I don't know how we've spent this long not to talk about Manchester United. I think it's a record.
But there's not much to talk about. Like let's be honest. I don't. Did you want to move on or something?
No, I need
Anybody
to
could.
move on because Chelsea is taking a little. Honestly, the Arsenal Liverpool game took way too long, hence why we're a little bit behind. But Nix, if
Understandable.
you had anything to add on the Chelsea situation,
Yeah,
let me
on
know.
the Chelsea one.
You don't want to talk about United?
Igal isn't often right about anything, to be honest. But he was
Damn.
right about this. No,
He's
I'm
right there, bro.
I'm joking.
Was
I'm
he?
joking.
Was he?
No, yeah, because he said it from the summer. From the summer, when it was all going off, and there were some of it might have been a bit of bitterness because they were trying to hijack some of Arsenal deals.
I said they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, let me finish. Let me go. And he was saying this from the summer, like they were going. He was flying all across on his world tour, cooking dinner for everyone, and trying to hijack all these deals. Cucurella, Rafinha, Sterling.
Where's my prop?
It was your point. You weren't in for any deals, so there was nothing to
Stop getting
negotiate.
jealous, bro.
Nah, but I did say that Chelsea were in all this.
Oh, you're
signing
pro. Oh
the
no, I thought
players.
you said something
Listen.
else.
This is why Nix is here. He's gonna say something nice about me for once. Go ahead.
Yeah,
He never says anything nice about me. Never gives me any credit for anything.
When New
At
Zealand
all.
win a limited over World Cup, then we can
Shut up.
No, but that's why I go ask me to come up here. All right, make sure you get that money to my PayPal to go when I'm done.
How much? Anyway,
But yeah, let's say he was right. He said Todd Boehly doesn't know what he's doing. Obviously, Chelsea fans bury their heads in the sand. Don't worry, it's going to be just like Roman. Roman's gone. Boehly comes in. We're going to spend money. Because they were deluded to think that spending money was the only reason why they were successful in the last 20 years. It helped. Don't get it twisted. It bloody helped. But there was, I wouldn't even say there was, I don't know the whole structure of Chelsea over the last 20 years, but I know there were 4 people in charge. Peter Kenyon, for example, was one of the main 4 people in charge at the original time when Roman Abramovich was there. We had Peter Kenyon as our CEO at one point. So there was always 4 people in charge. And as time went on, the last set was Marina. I don't know what her background was before she went to Chelsea, but Petr Cech was there as well. Before that was Emenalo, and
Right.
they drove him out. So a lot of the Chelsea fans hated him. But Todd Boehly came in and just ripped up everything all at once. I'm going to do it my way. But you don't have a way. You've never been in football before. What does that even mean? What's the evidence that your way has any traction, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent? You have no idea. It was so risky. And everything they went for in the summer has been completely thrown out the window come January. So that was one of the big mistakes you already made, getting rid of Marina and Cech, going on his world tour, then buying all those players, I guess signed off by Tuchel, because I know he was like, who do you want? All right, I'll go and get it. You want that? All right.
No, but
Aubameyang being the key
that's
one.
the thing, though, Nix. Like Tuchel didn't really get most of the players he asked for.
No, you're right, but he tried to go for them. He just couldn't
Yeah,
get those
of
deals
course.
over the line.
Yeah.
But then, like Aubameyang being one of the biggest ones, he's like, all right, it's someone who I've worked with before.
I don't want Graham
Bring him
Potter.
in. And then about 2 weeks later, he sacked Tuchel.
Mm.
So you got all these bunch of players for a manager that's no longer there that you decided to sack, and it ain't based on results. It's obviously more behind the scenes. And he brought in Potter. And whether Potter was the right man or wrong man for the job, I never thought he was the right man. But whether it was wrong or right, it was never right for that situation. It was a mess. You needed someone with much more experience to do that. And I think everything that's happened so far is a culmination of how his ownership started. It doesn't mean it's Boehly out. Doesn't mean he's never going to be a good owner. It doesn't even mean that some of those players, even some that you signed this summer, the likes of Cucurella, can't come good.
Yeah.
But when we're analyzing this season, a lot of that has to fall at the feet of Boehly.
Yeah.
Now,
agreed.
it may get rectified going forward, but there's just a lack of direction at Chelsea that starts from the top. And a lot of Chelsea fans to this day are still burying their heads in the sand because they're hoping that the future is going to be bright. You can do both. You can admit and you can hold the owner, etc., the managers account and the players accountable for how this season has gone, without and at the same time say that, well, we hope that the direction that we changed in the summer can breed positive results in the future. But a lot of Chelsea fans are only looking at the hopeful, assumptive future and kind of trying to erase what's happened so far. You can't erase it. You can't erase it. But
I feel like you guys are being exposed to the types of people are just not real about our situation.
yeah,
Because the people I speak to, I'm not gonna lie to you, speak far more the way I am, which is like being real about the situation, who takes blame on what, and what do we need to do to go fix it, rather than saying, oh, it's Roman's fault. Roman's no longer here, fam. Like we can't just keep blaming Roman and Marina and these lot.
Facts.
The situation was a mess when these owners walked into it, but instead of thinking, okay, how are we going to fix this mess and how do we then make sure that we're making the right decision in this process, I think we rushed it. And that summer window and what followed it afterwards, we're paying for the mistakes of those things up till this point. And in January, although I really back a lot of our signings, it's far too many signings for people to now start embedding into the team with no preseason, with barely any time to or game time to kind of make everyone get accustomed to what you're trying to do. It was all like a recipe for disaster. And the fact that Potter has not only lost his job, and I know people are going to be like, hey, you know, he's richer for it. It doesn't matter. I actually rate him as a manager. I think the job he did at Brighton was incredible. And I think he's actually got something about him that generally is very good. But unfortunately, wrong time, wrong place, man.
Yo, I found the video of thing. We're just gonna move on to the Man United game, but before we do that, just bring back to Liverpool one more time. Everyone keeps talking about this video. Let's actually show you guys the video. So this is the video.
All he says, he just wants the best team to win it. That's it.
Yeah. So
you sure you're not going to get a copyright strike from?
Yeah, be very careful, man.
No, it's AFTV, isn't it? So it should be fine.
No, but it's a corporation in it, so like they're gonna have. It might just be an automatic thing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm just showing you guys the video. I'm not really gonna play the audio. So it just looks like they're outside the stadium.
Okay,
and
cool.
he's in his car.
Oh, it's on Twitter. Or maybe you can play that actually. I thought it was the actual YouTube video. You might be able to play that.
1 second. I don't see anything. It seems like he literally it's the first 10 seconds.
Yes. Go and play. I think you can play. Scroll down.
Question. Would you like to see us win the league, Arsenal, or not? Good question.
Best team. The best team.
Yeah, best team in the league.
Okay.
Well, I think they're the best team, like the best team win, basically.
Yeah, and also
you never say anybody but Liverpool. That's
and guys, big up for everything. I just want to say, are we gonna talk about Man United, Newcastle?
No. I mean, listen, Newcastle are cooking.
Yeah.
And I'm not I mean, I would have loved Brighton to get a result against Spurs just to give us a bit more breathing space, but I'm not worried about top four. You know, I'm wary, but I'm not worried. So for me, Newcastle, because we're on level points, and they're starting to score some goals. Isak is in good form.
I'll tell you what, though.
We're still worried that Rashford's injured.
We're 3 points ahead of Spurs. Both of us are 3 points ahead of Spurs with a game in hand. And Spurs aren't. It's not like Spurs are they're on this great run of form and they're closing us in. They're fifth because they've been dropping points. At one point, they were sitting in fourth and around third. So, we've got Nottingham Forest next. Then we've got Spurs. That's away. If we come out with this, I want to win that game. I think we can. But as long as we don't lose that game, then again, I still have nothing to worry about. Spurs have to beat us. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I think they have to beat us. We've got Casemiro back, Eriksen back. Pretty much, obviously, everyone fit now, other than Rashford is now injured. Now, that's the big one. Can we get goals without Rashford? That's going to determine if we.
What do you think about what Ten Hag said? Ten Hag basically said, they asked him, why do you think Rashford got injured? He said, tell BT, basically, right?
Well, there's two things. If we had taken our chances in that first half, then Rashford could have been subbed off after 60 minutes. But we are the reason why we have to overplay the likes of Rashford, Bruno, etc. because we're not killing off games. So games are going late before they've actually finished, and then you can take off your big players. So there's a part of it where Anthony, Rashford himself had a chance. I can't remember if Sanchez had any chances, but we had chances in that game that Wan-Bissaka missed an open goal. We should have been 3-0 up at half time or 4-1 or whatever, because Everton had one chance himself. And the game dragged on. He has to play longer, and he ends up getting an injury. So You add that to the fact that we are playing 3 games in 6 days, and we're playing the early kickoff on Saturday. It's like, surely there's another way you could have balanced it out. Surely, why could we not get the late kickoff? Why could we not? Yeah, I know we're playing Thursday in the Europa League, but why do we have to have the early kickoff after we just?
But that's a schedule, isn't it, Nick?
This is what he specifically
Naturally,
said.
when you play
We
on
have to
Thursday, you have
wait.
to play
It doesn't
Saturday
look-
12:30, then Sunday.
No, but
Yeah.
One second. This is what he had to say exactly on the injury. We had to wait. It doesn't look well. Once it is due for a schedule, cannot play 3 games in 6 days. So basically, it's due to the schedule. You cannot play 3 games in 6 days. I honestly think that people are overdoing with the Erik Ten Hag criticism. People are criticizing him for saying 3 games in 6 days is too much. That's ridiculous. Every manager would say that. I think every top 6 manager said that. And the craziest thing is, I'm seeing Liverpool fans cussing him the most. It's like, what's embarrassing about pointing out something that your manager has pointed out numerous occasions?
No, but I'd cuss out United fans because they were the ones that kept on saying, "Stop whining, you keep playing your games." I'll cuss them out, say like,
You're saying
don't
keep the
act
same energy.
Keep the same energy, man. But again, like I said, is the schedule around the whole of Europe and Premier League and league games is already messed up. Like that's how it's always been. It needs to be
It will
fixed.
always be.
However,
the World Cup didn't help, and the fact that we're in so many competitions. This is the thing, because Martial's been out for so long, Rashford had to play all these games in all these competitions just to get us through. We need our players back, and I guess in the end we didn't get our players back quick enough. If Martial came back early enough, then Rashford would have to play all these games. It's a culmination of everything. It's not purely down to schedule, but it don't help. It don't help. If we're taking our chances, Rashford would have been off after 60 minutes.
Fair enough. And Mojo, since you've been gone, Alan, I want to ask you guys this. The boy Isaac is doing crazy things. First of all, he's Eritrean, but do you claim him as an East African brother?
100%, man. 100%, man. I'm happy for him, man.
What are you saying? Newcastle's gonna get top 4?
Yeah,
I think they're deserving, man. I can't say it. Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job. These players look like they give a damn, and they deserve to be in the Champions League next year based on what we've seen over the season. And I think at first I was worried about it because there was a point when you looked at their fixtures, there was quite a lot of draws. Yeah. And they were struggling to score. And I feel like their fortunes have now started to turn towards the right areas. And they look attacking-wise a lot better. And I think now they're having fun. So, yeah, man, they deserve it.
People are saying East African and fellow, what is that?
Scandinavian. Swedish.
What is it? Is it Eritrean?
Sophia, you're in Scandinavia also. Okay. And then we say big up all the East Africans. We move, big up.
It's a shame he gets injured all the time.
Eritrean food. Have you tried Somali food?
Injera is so nice. Injera is so nice.
It is. Well, don't try the too sour ones. I don't like it too sour. I like it. Have you tried the sweet one?
Man. Give me the Injera.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't really want to touch on the rest of the games. We covered so much already. Hour and 30 minutes in. You guys have been great. Big up to Neeks. Big up to Alan. Big up to Hamza, came in and just gave us a quick 15 minutes of madness and left. and Mojo's back in the building. Ram, you know what? You're humble. Even though a lot of your Liverpool fans were celebrating the draw like it was the biggest win they've had all year. It was one of your best performances this year.
The biggest win they've had this year is that 7-0 against United.
That was our cup final.
That's the only win they've had this year. The way they go on about it.
Yeah. We save ourselves with that Erik.
You guys have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow with the Arsenal panel. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace out, guys.
Big up.
Love and respect.